I have random thoughts in my head, and sometimes I let them come out of my mouth. Alright, welcome back to Random Thought. This is my friend Ipsita.
Hi.
She's here because I randomly went, hey, you should be on the show. Let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. So, Ipsita,
Yeah, she goes, what do you want to promote?
Exactly. So what should we talk about? And Ipsita so wonderfully said, you know what? We need to talk about domestic abuse and relationships. So here we are.
Here we are. It's very serious. Not going to be that funny or anything like that, but yeah.
I guess we wanted to start off and just tell us about domestic abuse and what, different types there are.
Well, I want to say, firstly, that the reason we're talking about this is because we're two completely normal people. We're not, most of the time. We're not associated with anything. We're not counselors, therapists, or anything like that. I've been in an abusive relationship before, in a domestic violence case. And it's important for the average person to know and to talk about it and to be aware, because we're the ones that are making the difference. So I'm going to give you my opinion. She's going to give your opinion. It's more of a people for people type of situation. We're not therapists that could tell you like, hey, this is what you should be doing. Mm-hmm. So as far as abuse goes, there are three categories. There's emotional abuse, there is physical abuse, and there is sexual abuse. With domestic violence, most of the time, your situation is going to be all three of them combined. It's very extreme and it's very sad, but that's kind of what you're looking at. Mm-hmm. I think I have some frustrations with domestic violence and abuse. In my situation, I actually had people that thought that it was funny. When I had some of our common friends, when we were open about it, we were talking about it, that yes, I am in an abusive relationship. He is hitting me. We're seeing a therapist. We're trying to get help. They thought it was funny. They're like, oh, that's hilarious. You're hitting her. It was a joke. It's not. Mm. And if someone comes to you with this and they're sharing it, it's a big deal. Nobody wants to put their dirty laundry out there. Don't make fun of it. There is no reason to do that. My other frustration is that if you know about a situation with an acquaintance, with a friend, with a family member, and they're being abused, don't walk away from that, because that means that you're encouraging the abuser. Mm-hmm. If you're not doing something about it, you're on that side, you're on that team, and you think that abuse against women is okay. Those are my frustrations.
Well, I also think it's important to say it's not just women who are also abused. Some men are abused.
That's true.
I personally know a man who was abused by his wife for a very long time, and it's kind of the running joke in our group, like, oh yeah, you remember when he got put through the wall? And it's like, it's honestly really not funny because he was being abused, but for some reason they think male being abused by a woman, oh my God, he's just not man enough.
Yeah, and just going off of that, I don't know why the social norm is so, it's weird about abuse and domestic violence. A lot of people come to me and they're like, oh, but you're so independent and you make your own decisions, you work, you're educated. How can you be abused? And these are conversations that I haven't had once or twice. I've had them so much that it's unbelievable. And I just want to put that out there, that abuse is abuse. And abuse happens to any and everyone. It can happen to children, it can happen to women, to men, to people that have strong personalities, to people that have weak personalities. I don't think you should ever tell yourself like, oh, she's independent. Mm-hmm. That's okay. There's no way she's being abused. There's no such thing as that. So it can happen to anyone.
And if it happens and you're an outsider, what do you recommend someone can do? Because I know me personally, the one person in my life who I wanted to stand up and be there for her, she was constantly telling me not to. So all I could do is stand there and watch as it happened. And it's like, what would you recommend someone to do to step in and do something that they could help?
I think that's the classic mindset of someone who's being abused. And I went through that, and a lot of my friends and a lot of our common friends were frustrated. They're like, you're complaining and we know this is happening, but you don't want to call the cops and you don't want to just pick up and leave. Like, how are we supposed to help you? Firstly, you have to understand as the outsider person that the person that's being abused is being told that all of this is their fault. Any normal person, as far as the people that I know, if they're being told that this is your fault, or if you tell me, Ipsita, this is your fault, you did this, fix it, I'm gonna leave everything and try to fix it because this is what I brought on. So the abused person spends a lot of time thinking about what they can do better. They don't, at first hand, they don't realize that this is an abusive situation. They feel like everything that's happening to them, the emotional, physical, and sexual abuse, is because of something they did wrong. So they don't want to get the abuser in trouble. They're spending time like, how can I change my personality? How can I change the way I look? How can I change the way I act? You know, fix things. So you have to be a little bit patient and you have to look for that right time, because that does come for the person that's being abused, where they're like, this is it. This is not me. I need to get up and go. So as an outsider person, you want to be very, very patient. I don't know if I want to put this out there, but I wish in my situation, there were several run-ins, and I still kind of get emotional about it. There are several run-ins, several situations where I was being abused, and just because I thought it was my fault, I never called the police. So at the end of the relationship, when I decided to leave, I literally ran, picked up a couple of things and ran, and then I got a restraining order, and my lawyer said that, you know, if you had called the cops even just once, this case would be so heavy. It would be so easy for us. But you were trying to save him and you never called the cops in the year and a half. So there's nothing that's written down. There's nothing that says, yes, this guy was abusive to her several times over and over again. So I wish in my situation, when people heard things or they saw things or they came in, they saw me bleeding or whatever, I wish they would have called the cops. At that moment, and this is strictly my situation, at that moment, I think I would have been upset with them, like, hey, I'm not trying to get him in trouble or whatever. But later on, I would have definitely thanked him. So that you have to kind of see in your situation what would work. I can't make suggestions. Hey, go do this. But stuff like that. Bring resources to them. A lot of people don't know about the domestic violence hotline. There's several of them out there. You can bring them to Interact, which is in Raleigh on Oberlin Road, and that's a domestic violence agency that has access to shelters, to counseling. All of this is for free. Job security, job help, things like that. If you have, I know a lot of international people, they have issues with visas, and their husbands or partners are trying to like, they're like, oh, we'll kick you out without your visa. You won't have anywhere to go or whatever. You can't get a job. Interact helps with things like that. So you can offer that and tell them like, hey, let's go there. Let's tell them about your situation. Let's make something happen. So stuff like that, and definitely be there for them emotionally. You have no idea the roller coaster ride an abusive person who's being abused goes through emotionally. Every single day is different for them. So definitely be there emotionally, and hold on until that moment comes when they're ready to get out of there.
So we're definitely going to put the description down for Interact below. Is Interact just Raleigh, or is it all North Carolina, or are they like an international group?
As far as I know, they're definitely all North Carolina. And the good thing about agencies like this is that they have a lot of connections. So, if let's say that if you're watching this video and you're in a situation like this, you can get in touch with us. But you can go on Interact's website, shoot them an email, give them a call, like, hey, I'm in Colorado. What do I do? I'm in New York. I have no idea where to go. Do you have an agency? Do you have an organization that can help me out? They have a lot of connections, so it's a good place to start.
So we'll put the link below in the description, just so that you have a starting point. If you or someone you know may be in it, it is important that you get them information that, even if they won't take it, just putting it there could always be a big step for them. So thank you for coming again. Our random question of the day is, if your life could be like a movie, what movie would it be? Mine would be the Star Trek franchise.
Oh my god.
Or, because I just love the whole, you know, Star Trek, everything. It's wonderful living in space and not worrying about money. That works for me.
Oh my god, definitely. Well, as you know, I'm Indian. I'm East Indian, and Bollywood is a big thing for us. And Bollywood is like La La Land.
Okay.
Everything's happy. You break out into song and dance every step of the way. Whether you're happy, sad, pregnant, not pregnant, married, divorced, you just like you're happy. There's music. There's dancing. There's a lot of love. Everyone's falling in love. And at the end of the story,
it sounds like a hippie's like.
Yeah, it's like, and it's any Bollywood movie. Like every one of the Bollywood movies have this. At the end of the day, at the end of the movie, everything is perfect. If you were fighting with your husband, you're no longer fighting. If you had money issues, you are now a successful like banker somewhere. So at the end of the movie, everything is perfect. You're happy. Life is smooth. So I think mine would be a Bollywood movie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hers would be a Bollywood movie. Okay, so comment below just telling us what your movie would be like. All right, well, thanks for coming to Random Thought. Thank you, Ipsita, for joining us. And we're definitely going to have her on again. Click like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll catch you later.
See ya.
On YouTube the other day watching some spoken word, and I thought of you and thought, hey, you know what, I'm gonna call Matt and see how he's doing, because if I remember correctly, you have a book of like spoken word and poems you have written, right?
Oh yes, ma'am. You know, Last Poet Society, that's the name. So yeah, that's me.